The wind howled across the Montana plateau, carrying with it the scent of pine and distant snow. Marcus Webb pulled his jacket tighter as he climbed the metal stairs to the old observatory dome. The structure had been abandoned for decades, but its equipment still functioned, and Marcus had claimed it as his sanctuary. Here, away from the noise of civilization, he could listen to the whispers of the universe. Tonight felt different. The air held a charge, like the moment before lightning strikes. Marcus settled into his worn chair and adjusted the dials on his custom-built radio array. Static filled his headphones, the familiar white noise that had been his companion for countless lonely nights. He was searching for patterns, for anything that suggested intelligence beyond Earth's boundaries. At precisely midnight, the static changed. A rhythm emerged, subtle at first, then unmistakable. It wasn't random interference. The pattern repeated with mathematical precision, pulsing like a heartbeat made of light and sound. Marcus's hands trembled as he fine-tuned the frequency. The signal grew stronger, clearer, and then suddenly it stopped. The observatory fell silent. Even the wind seemed to hold its breath. Marcus removed his headphones and stood, his heart pounding. Through the dome's open panel, the stars blazed with unusual brilliance. Then he saw it, a shimmer in the air itself, as if reality had developed a crack. The shimmer expanded, creating a vertical pool of luminescence that cast dancing shadows across the observatory's interior. From within that light, a figure emerged. She moved with fluid grace, her form solidifying as she stepped into his world. Her skin carried a faint opalescent glow, shifting between pearl and soft amber in the starlight. Dark hair fell in waves past her shoulders, and her eyes held depths that reminded Marcus of Earth's oceans. Deep blue with flecks of silver that seemed to move like living constellations. She wore something between clothing and liquid light. When she spoke, her voice carried harmonics that touched something primal in Marcus's chest. "I am Seraphine," she said, her words perfectly formed despite their otherworldly resonance. "Your signal called to me across the void, and I answered." Marcus found his voice, though it came out barely above a whisper. "My signal? I was just listening." "Sometimes," Seraphine replied, stepping closer, "the act of listening is itself a call." Across the cosmos dawn arrived too quickly. Marcus had spent hours asking questions, while Seraphine answered with patience that felt almost maternal. She explained that her world, Thalesia, orbited a binary star system 300 light-years from Earth. Her people had evolved in deep oceans. Before eventually reaching for their stars, they traveled not through conventional space, but by folding the fabric of reality itself, creating temporary bridges between distant points. "Call them drift paths," Seraphine explained. "Tracing patterns in the air that left brief trails of luminescence, but something went wrong during my crossing. The path collapsed, and I emerged here, far from my intended destination." Marcus watched those glowing trails fade. "Are you stranded?" "My vessel is damaged, hidden in your mountains. I've been gathering materials to repair it, learning about your world while I work." She turned to face him fully, and the intensity of her gaze made his breath catch. "Your species fascinates me. You reach for the stars with such determination, despite being bound to a single world." "We dream," Marcus said simply. "Even when we can't leave, we imagine what's out there." Seraphine smiled, and the expression transformed her face from merely beautiful to breathtaking. "Yes, I've felt that. The dreams your people broadcast into space, your music, your messages of hope, they ripple through the cosmos like stones dropped in still water." Over the following nights, Marcus guided Seraphine through human culture while she shared wonders from Thalesia. She described cities built within massive coral structures that sang with bioluminescent life. Festivals where her people would synchronize their thoughts to create shared dreams, and the philosophy that all consciousness was fundamentally connected through quantum entanglement. Marcus found himself drawn to her in ways that defied logic. It wasn't just her alien beauty or the knowledge she carried. Something deeper pulled at him, a resonance he couldn't name. When she laughed at his attempts to explain jazz music, the sound made his chest ache with unexpected longing. One evening, as they sat on the observatory's exterior platform watching satellites cross overhead, their hands touched. The contact sent a wave of warmth through Marcus's body, not painful, but intensely present. Seraphine didn't pull away. Instead, her fingers intertwined with his. And in that moment, Marcus understood that the distance between their worlds measured far less than the connection growing between them. "Tell me," he asked softly, "what do your people believe about love?" Seraphine's expression grew thoughtful, her luminescent eyes reflecting the stars above. "We believe it is the universe's first language, spoken before matter condensed from energy, before time began its forward march." 3 weeks passed like a dream Marcus didn't want to end. He brought Seraphine books, music, and samples of Earth's endless diversity. She shared technology that seemed like magic, devices that could purify water with thought, crystals that stored sunlight and released it as gentle warmth during cold nights. But more than any wonder, Marcus cherished their conversations that stretched from dusk until dawn. Tonight, Sky performed its annual meteor shower. Marcus had prepared the observatory's roof platform with blankets and hot coffee. Seraphine arrived as the first streaks of light began their fiery descent. She wore a simple dress Marcus had given her, human clothing that somehow looked both familiar and exotic on her frame. They lay side by side, watching the heavens burn. Each falling star drew gasps and quiet exclamations. But Marcus noticed Seraphine's distraction, the way her gaze kept drifting from the sky to his face. Something weighed on her, visible in the tension of her shoulders. "What troubles you?" he asked, turning onto his side to face her. Seraphine remained still for a long moment, then slowly met his eyes. "I haven't been completely truthful with you, Marcus." His heart skipped. "About what?" "My vessel has been repaired for 5 days now." Her voice carried a tremor he'd never heard before. "I could have left at any time. I've stayed because I wanted to understand something that should be impossible." Marcus sat up, confusion and hope warring in his chest. "Understand what?" Seraphine rose to face him, and in the meteor shower's flickering light, tears glistened on her cheeks, though they glowed faintly with that same inner luminescence. "My people possess a sensitivity to emotional energy. We can perceive the resonance between living beings, the invisible threads that bind hearts together. When I first detected your signal, it wasn't just your radio equipment I sensed. It was you, Marcus. Your loneliness, your wonder, your desperate hope that something more existed beyond your solitary nights." She reached out, her hand hovering near his chest, and when we met, I felt something I've never experienced before. A harmonic resonance so strong, it defied explanation. Among my people, such resonance is the foundation of bonding, our form of love. But you're human, and I'm Thalassian. This shouldn't be possible. Marcus's breath came faster. He understood now why every moment with her felt significant. Why her presence seemed to complete something within him he hadn't known was incomplete. The choice. Between worlds, Marcus took Seraphine's hand, pressing it against his chest where his heart thundered. "I feel it too. I thought I was imagining it, that proximity to someone so extraordinary was creating an illusion." "It's not an illusion," Seraphine whispered. She moved closer, close enough that Marcus could feel the warmth radiating from her skin. "But it presents an impossible situation. I must return to Thalasia. My absence has lasted too long. My family believes I died in the crossing, and my people need the research I was conducting." "Then stay one more night," Marcus said, his voice rough with emotion. "Give me one more night before you disappear into the stars." Seraphine's answer was to close the remaining distance between them. Their lips met, and Marcus felt the universe shift. The kiss carried that same harmonic quality as her voice, a resonance that seemed to synchronize their heartbeats. Her skin was warmer than human flesh, smooth as water, and where they touched, faint patterns of light bloomed. Like flowers opening to the sun, they held each other as meteors continued their ancient dance overhead. Seraphine's fingers traced the line of Marcus's jaw, his neck memorizing him through touch. Marcus buried his face in her hair, breathing in a scent like ocean spray and something sweeter indefinable. "I've studied your mythology," Seraphine murmured against his shoulder. "Humans tell many stories of impossible love between mortals and immortals, between earth and sky. They always end in tragedy or transformation." Marcus pulled back just enough to see her face. Which would you prefer? Neither. Both. She laughed, a sound caught between joy and sorrow. Marcus, there's something else you must know. The reason I stayed wasn't just to understand our connection. I wanted to test it, to see if time would diminish what I felt. Instead, it's only grown stronger. What are you saying? Seraphine took a deep breath, her luminescence brightening momentarily. My people have a bonding ritual. When two beings share true resonance, they can choose to link their life energies. It creates a permanent connection that transcends distance, even death. But it's irreversible, and it's never been attempted between species this different. Marcus's mind reeled. You want to bond with me? I want to offer you a choice, she corrected gently. I can return to Thalicia alone, carrying the memory of you as the most beautiful accident of my life. Or you can come with me, leave Earth behind, and join me in exploring the cosmos. Leave Earth. Marcus stared at her. Forever? Or, Seraphine continued, her voice barely audible above the wind, we attempt the bonding, and I stay here with you. Marcus stood and walked to the platform's edge, his thoughts churning. Below, the Montana wilderness stretched dark and familiar. Above, the stars beckoned with infinite possibility. He thought of his life, the years spent listening to cosmic static, hoping for proof that humanity wasn't alone. And now, impossibly, love had found him across the void. He turned back to Seraphine. She remained seated on the blankets, her expression open and vulnerable. In that moment, Marcus saw not an alien being of superior technology, but simply someone who had found connection in unexpected places, who faced the same impossible choice he did. Tell me honestly, Marcus said, returning to kneel before her. If we bond, if you stay, will you be happy here? Won't you miss your world? Your people, the infinite wonders you could explore? Seraphine cupped his face in both hands. I've traveled to 17 worlds, Marcus. I've seen neutron stars dance and watched galaxies collide. I've swum through nebulae and stood on planets where the rain falls upward. But never, in all my journeys, have I found what I found in this lonely observatory with you, which is home. The word carried such certainty that Marcus felt tears prick his eyes. The universe is vast and filled with marvels. But home isn't a place. It's a resonance, a harmony between souls. I found that harmony with you. Marcus kissed her again, pouring every unspoken feeling into that connection. When they parted, he knew his answer. Teach me the bonding ritual. Seraphine's smile rivaled the meteor shower's brilliance. She guided Marcus to sit facing her, their knees touching, hands clasped between them. She began to sing a melody without words that seemed to come from every cell of her being. The sound wrapped around them, visible as faint threads of light that wove patterns in the air. Open your heart completely, she instructed. Let me feel every fear, every hope, every dream.
Ow.
Marcus closed his eyes and let his barriers fall. He felt Seraphine's consciousness brush against his own, gentle as a whisper, profound as an ocean. Their separate rhythms began to synchronize, heartbeats aligning, breath matching breath. The light between them intensified until Marcus could see it, even through closed eyelids. Then, suddenly, completely, they were one. Marcus felt Seraphine's memories flood through him, the depths of Thalicia's oceans. The joy of her first star jump, the ache of loneliness in the void, and the overwhelming recognition when she first sensed his signal. In turn, she experienced his childhood dreams of space exploration, his quiet dedication to seeking contact, his years of solitude, and the explosion of feeling when she emerged from the light. When they opened their eyes, the bonding was complete. Marcus could feel Seraphine's presence in his mind. It's not intrusive, but complementary, like discovering a room in his heart he'd never known existed, and he knew she felt the same. We're bound now, Seraphine whispered, wonder in her voice. Across all distances, through all time. Where you go, part of me goes. What you feel, I feel. Marcus helped her to her feet. Then let's build something new together. Your knowledge and human courage, Thalassian wisdom and Earth's dreaming heart. As the meteor shower reached its crescendo, Marcus and Seraphine stood together on the observatory platform. Two beings from different worlds who had found their shared home in each other. The universe stretched infinite above them, no longer a void of loneliness, but a canvas of infinite possibility. Painted in the light of their impossible, perfect love,